welcome to Live Interactive English. My name is Sydney.
And I am Mike. Yes, welcome everyone. We are back here with you guys, of course, for day 2, the road less traveled, unusual jobs that really exist. These are real jobs. They're just weird jobs. The kind of job that you hear someone describe or tell you about and you go, no one. Do people really do that? Do people get paid to watch Netflix and put words on a show to describe the show? Yes, they do.
They do. And you would think, is it really people's jobs to go out there and catch snakes and essentially de-venom them or milk them? Yes, it is. We need those professionals.
People actually do that, yes. Have you ever seen a job out there? Maybe it's not the weirdest job, but it's an interesting, strange job, and you kind of thought, I wonder what that's like. Maybe I'd like to try that for a couple of days.
That's a great question. You know, one thing, I don't think it's super unusual, but during baseball season, whenever I go to the baseball games, like in between the innings and stuff, I love to watch the guys who kind of come out and they make the dirt on the field really smooth. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they have like rakes and they kind of keep it all nice.
Smooth it out. I think that's really interesting.
I was thinking of something very similar. I was watching basketball. I was watching the NBA the other day, and these guys who run out and they pick up all the water and sweat and stuff when the players fall down. And they used to have those guys, and they would go out with like towels. Now they have a small army, and they have I was actually thinking, what do you call that job?
I know.
Is it a sweat mopper? Sweat
sweeper, maybe?
Court cleaner?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting job. And the other day also, I didn't want to do this job. The guys who wash the windows on Taipei 101.
Oh my goodness.
I was up there and I looked up and I realized, there's some people up there on the 63rd floor. Yeah. That's a job I couldn't do. I don't like to kind of be up there high, but clearly it's a pretty interesting job, a great view. Yeah. And I'm sure they probably get paid well because a lot of people would not want to do that one. They're kind of putting
their life on the line to make sure that Taipei 101 is nice and shiny and clean.
Exactly, right? We want to be able to see it look nice, but I don't want to be the guy who makes it look nice. So let's find out about some more weird jobs, starting with number 1 or number 3 for today. It's all about going fishing for bicycles. It's a job.
Bicycle fisher. In Amsterdam, thousands of people ride bikes every day, and many of those bikes end up at the bottom of the city's numerous canals. Bicycle fishers use a special boat with a large claw to pull the rusty bikes out of the water. This keeps the Dutch capital's famous waterways cleaner and safer for boat traffic. Pet food tester. Do you like trying new foods? What if that food isn't intended for humans? Pet food testers are often food scientists who help ensure that pet food is both safe and appealing for animals. They usually don't swallow the food, but will still taste small amounts. Their work also involves checking ingredients and comparing flavors to improve recipes.
Okay, guys, we are back with our next weird job. The first one for today, of course. Now, this is a job where I see the title and I have different pictures in my mind of what this person is doing. The job is...
bicycle fisher.
So, like, are they on a bicycle while fishing? Are they fishing for bicycles?
Right, I'm like, are they on a big boat and they're taking a crane down there and scooping them up? So, in Amsterdam, thousands of people ride bikes every day.
Okay.
Very true. It is kind of like the bicycle capital of the world.
A lot of bikes.
Yeah, and many of those bikes end up at the bottom of the city's numerous canals. Why? This is interesting. I've been to Amsterdam. I've ridden a bike. I think I've told the story how I embarrassingly fell off a bike once when I was in Amsterdam.
But you didn't fall in the water.
That's the thing. I did not fall in the water. I wasn't even riding anywhere near a canal. And I didn't get so worked up where I was like, I fell off the bike. Let me just toss it into the canal. Never crossed my mind.
That is strange.
Very interesting.
Apparently it happens. And
it does happen.
There are a lot of places to throw bikes because, of course, like Venice, Amsterdam has a lot of these canals, kind of like a man-made waterway or river. In fact, there are so many, we would describe them as numerous.
Numerous, meaning a lot of, many. So, for example, we could say there were numerous stars in the night sky. There were a lot of stars, many stars up in the night sky.
A big number. We don't have to count. We just know it's a lot. Okay, so a lot of canals, a lot of bicycles, and some of those bicycles end up in the canal, I guess maybe by accident. Maybe they just fall over. And so what happens? Well, bicycle fishers use a special boat with a large claw to pull the rusty bikes out of the water.
I was right. Okay.
There you go. So you're fishing for bikes. You're not fishing from the bike for fish. You're fishing from a boat for the bikes. In fact, they're not even sort of zzz. They're not fishing like that. They're not using a net. They're using a claw. And a claw is something that we find on an animal, right? A claw could be a nail, like my cat has long claws, so she might scratch you. Or it can be a machine that works kind of like a hand or like an animal's hand. Generally, we would think of a claw as being something kind of like this, and you'd be able to open and close. Sometimes you see this at construction places where they're pulling down a building, right? They'll have a claw and it'll kind of, bite into like a chunk of the building and pull it or lift it. So if you're trying to pick up something that's kind of a weird shape, a claw could be very useful. And of course, we have those games, right? Where you put in the money and they have that claw, and then you position it, it goes down, it tries to pick up the doll, and it never ever works because those claws are weak, like a little baby claw. But that is also a claw. So for example, the machine has a claw to pick up objects. It has an apparatus or a machine that kind of, closes and opens like a hand.
All right. And I believe, if bikes are kind of sitting at the bottom of these numerous canals, they're getting very rusty.
Yes.
Right? They're rusty. It means they have a lot of rust. They're old. They're aging. They're dirty. They're not new, and probably not very usable at that point. If something's very rusty, probably not best to use it again.
No.
So for example, we could say the gate was old and rusty from years of use, right? Anything, I think that's typically kind of metal, can rust very easily. Iron, if it's wet, if it's out in the rain, it'll get very, very rusty.
Iron reacts with the air and the oxygen, and it starts to kind of break down. It gets that kind of red, dusty stuff on it, like an old metal thing. Exactly. So there you go. They get them out of the water. And why do they do this? Well, it says this keeps the Dutch capital's famous waterways cleaner and safer for boat traffic, because boats do go up and down, and you can imagine if there's a bunch of bikes piled up on the bottom of the canal, the boats could eventually hit them, or the propellers could get caught in the the bikes, these old rusty bikes. It could just be dangerous, and it's nasty and dirty and gross, so they get the bikes out of the river. So many questions, but definitely an interesting job. Just like Hanny's job, she is here to help us out with our English grammar, so let's go spend some time with her.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续介绍奇特的职业。那么下一个是自行车打捞员。在阿姆斯特丹有不少自行车会掉进城市里的运河底部，他们会驾驶有大型钩爪的专用船只，把生锈的自行车从水中捞起。Mike 老师刚刚讲到船的螺旋桨，他提到 propeller 就是指螺旋桨。那么单字 numerous 它是形容许多的、众多的。Claw 名词表示抓取装置或者是机械爪，也可以指动物的爪子。Mike 老师这时候用到 apparatus 这个名词，它表示设备、仪器、装置或是用具。再看到 rusty 它是形容生锈的，也可以形容技能生疏的。介华课文中。
All right, thank you so much, Hanny. This one sounds pretty cool, though, right? What do you think?
Guess so. I think I need more information about this job. But certainly, it doesn't sound as scary as snake milker, although we are doing something involving animals. It's called a pet food tester.
Okay.
You're testing pet food. Dog food, cat food, that's pet food. And someone has to test the food, or maybe they're getting animals to, this is why I have questions. Am I eating the dog food? Or do I just have to make sure my dog eats it and I see if he likes it or doesn't, These are the questions that I have. So here's our article. Do you like trying new foods?
I do.
If the food is made for people.
If they're made for people.
Yeah, I do, but not all food. Yeah. What if that food isn't intended for humans?
I don't.
What if this is pet food and you're being asked to test it? Not your dog, but you. Yeah, suddenly I think there'd be many fewer people going, no, yeah, I don't want to do this job. All right, so what is going on here?
All right, let's see. It says here that pet food testers are often food scientists who help ensure that pet food is both safe and appealing for animals. Okay, so they're food scientists. I think that makes me feel a little bit better, meaning that the animals can eat it and they'll still remain healthy. Sure. And appealing, right? Yes. Appealing, meaning, well, you know, that the animals actually like the food.
Exactly right. Yeah. If something is appealing to you, it is attractive to you. It is something that you like. You might not love it. You might decide, no, I don't want that, but it is something that normally you would like. It smells good, it looks good, it tastes good. You had it before and you enjoyed it. So if it's something that kind of turns you on or makes your brain go, yes, please, or yum, or good, or I like this, it is appealing to you in some kind of way. And of course, we're all different, so all the things that we might find appealing could be different from other people around us. For example, the design is very appealing to many people. In other words, many people like it, right? If something is appealing, you like it. All right, so what is going on with this? So it's not getting your dog to test the dog food, it's getting you to test the dog food.
Right, I don't know.
Suddenly I'm like, can I be a food scientist who tests, I don't know, new soup? Or new kinds of chocolate bars or potato chips. I might do that, but new kinds of tuna flavored cat food?
I don't think so.
And that is actually what you're doing, but there is some small bit of good news. They usually don't swallow the food.
Okay.
But will still taste small amounts.
Okay.
So this is like those people, the wine experts, and they take a sip.
Oh yeah.
And then they spit it out.
Right.
So you'd put the food in your mouth, you would test it, taste it. It still tastes very fishy if it's cat food, but then you can spit it out. Their work also involves checking ingredients and comparing flavors to improve recipes or to make the food more delicious. This is exactly what they would do with human food.
They would,
They're just doing it with dog food or cat food. Have you ever tried dog or cat food?
Never. I never have, and I hope I never have to,
Okay,
honestly.
I have to admit, I had a small piece of my cat's dry food.
Okay.
Kind of thinking, well, if I'm giving it to my cat, I should. I didn't enjoy it.
I was going to say, what did you think?
No,
it's a no from you. Two thumbs down?
Yeah, no,
okay,
not
two
not
thumbs
a fan,
down. All right.
So, I don't know if I would do this every day as my job.
my
That's a whole other
goodness.
thing. All right, let's go over and check in with Hanny.
你喜欢尝试新食物吗？万一那些食物根本不是为了人类设计呢？好，下一个介绍的职业就是宠物食品试吃员，他们通常是食品科学家，他们负责确保宠物食品的安全，然后确保对动物是具有吸引力的。Appealing 就是形容有吸引力的、吸引人的。那这边一个重点是 What if 主词加动词，可以表达万一点点点怎么办呢？那这个句型是用来询问如果发生某个情况时该如何应对。你可以用直说法或者是用假设语气来表达跟现在事实相反的情况。例如 What if it rains？ 要是下雨怎么办呢？那这里的子句用到直说法，时态是照正常变化。What if you won the lottery? What would you do with the money? 要是你中乐透会怎么样呢？你会怎么运用那一笔钱呢？那这件事并没有发生，可是子句用到过去式动词 won， 所以这是用假设语气在表达。那我们接回到课文中。
All right, thank you so much, Hanny. So we are going to now go on to the second part of the article to find out, or I think to wrap it up, actually, right? Did we learn all about our all of our
I'm
weird
just thinking
jobs,
of drinking
right?
some water to get this imaginary cat food taste
I
out of my mouth.
I have to stop thinking about it. Even though, listen, the pet food tasters, even though they just taste a little bit and they don't swallow, just the idea that some cat food or dog food could reach my tongue and register the taste buds in my brain.
So would you rather be a snake milker than a pet food tester? If you had to choose?
You know what? If I
Yes.
had to choose,
Yes.
I would choose to be a snake milker. And do you know why?
Why is that?
Because those people save thousands of lives
That's
every
true.
year.
And they don't have to eat cat food.
And they don't have to eat cat food.
There you go.
So snake milker, I'll take it.
All right, we're going to find out more about all of this and wrap it up after this when we get
right.
back.
professional cuddler. This job helps people dealing with loneliness or stress. Professional cuddlers provide non-romantic physical comfort through hugging sessions. Several studies have shown that physical touch reduces stress and anxiety. Naturally, cuddlers must have strong communication skills and be willing to set clear boundaries to create safe experiences for clients and themselves. As you can see, the world is full of surprising career choices. Whether it's milking snakes or fishing for bikes, these roles prove that there are far more ways to make a living than we might imagine.
All right, we are now back,
yes.
and we are going to be talking about our final unusual job,
Great.
right?
Okay.
So this one, are you ready for it?
I am ready.
This one is entitled A Professional Cuddler. Professional cuddler.
Made that up.
I didn't.
That's not a job.
It's real. It's true. Professional cuddler.
Professional cuddler.
Professional cuddler.
Like, hey, honey,
Yeah, like,
and you're
cuddling.
sitting on the sofa, holding
Yeah.
hands, hugging.
Cuddling with your significant other. You cuddle with your cat. You cuddle with your friends. Sometimes a professional cuddler. It's a real job.
So you get paid by people, I guess you don't know.
Yes.
To hug and hold them in a warm, loving way. That is
you
an
do.
interesting job.
It is. So it says here that this job helps people dealing with loneliness or stress. Okay. So you could consider it almost like an essential position. It also says here that professional cuddlers provide non-romantic physical comfort through hugging sessions. Okay, so non-romantic, meaning, you're not in love with the person, you don't have a crush on this person. It's a complete stranger.
Sure.
So it's a non-romantic, physical comfort, like, hugging and stuff like that. It sounds like it can reduce stress and kind of help with some anxiety as well.
Interesting.
So I think so. Now, would I do that? I don't think so.
I mean, it's one thing to be cuddled and hugged by someone you know or love or a friend, a family member, of course, your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever, but a stranger, that's a little interesting. But apparently there is science going on here. There's some, actual real stuff happening. It says several studies have shown that physical touch, actually touching someone, and not just hearing nice words, but touching someone, reduces stress and anxiety. So it can actually really help people who are stressed, who are worried, who can't be calm or relaxed. It can actually help them much more than, well, why don't you just call your mom? And she'll say, oh, I'm so proud of you, honey, and I love you so much. That's nice, but getting that hug from mom or an arm around the shoulder, it actually is much more effective.
Yeah, and it says here, like you said, it can reduce or lower stress and anxiety. So anxiety, that's that feeling of worry. You feel very uneasy. You're kind of always on edge, right? It's essentially the opposite of feeling calm, right?
Yeah.
Right. So for example, we could say, waiting for the results filled Clara with anxiety, filled her with worry, filled her with a lot of uneasiness.
Oh, waiting to hear if she passed the test or failed and she can't sleep and she can't eat and all that kind of stressful stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Now, naturally, cuddlers must have strong communication skills and be willing to set clear boundaries to create safe experiences for clients and themselves, which is good. You want to create, boundaries. You want to tell them what's appropriate, what's not, what's appropriate touching, what would be inappropriate touching, so everyone feels safe. So the professional cuddler and the client that's paying them can actually, get the best bang for their buck and have a good experience.
Interesting job. I mean, if it was like a nurse or a firefighter who had a really tough day, oh yeah, I'll give them a hug. But it might be sort of strange with some other people. I just like to be hugged. Or something a little weird like that. But a very interesting job, and I can see how people who need that really need that. And if they can't get it from someone in their life, then, why can't they get it from someone else? It will be very good and healthy for them. Interesting stuff. So, as the article wraps up, let's go to Hanny. Oh yeah, let's do that first.
下一个职业是专业拥抱者。多项研究显示，身体接触可以减轻压力跟焦虑。那么，专业拥抱者必须有良好沟通能力，愿意设立明确的界限，来确保这一种安全、非恋爱性质的服务体验。好 ，anxiety 这个名词就是焦虑、担忧、不安。接话课文中。
All All right, so we are going to wrap up our article. As it says there, as you can see, and as we have been reading for the last 2 days, as you can see, the world is full of surprising career choices. And we looked at what, like 5 of them or something? We didn't talk about professional bed testers. We didn't talk about professional underarm deodorant smellers. Yeah. And we also, and I'm disappointed, we didn't talk about underwater pizza delivery people.
Oh, could you imagine?
There are underwater pizza delivery people. So there are many other weird careers out there, but I think the 5 that we've looked at are pretty good examples.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So whether it's milking snakes or fishing for bikes, these roles prove that there are far more ways to make a living than we might imagine.
There you go, absolutely. Or you can be a professional hanny. Oh wait, no, you can't be a professional hanny. We already have one.
We do.
She's the best.
And there's only one.
课文最后提到，无论是提取蛇毒还是打捞自行车，这些职业都证明了谋生方式远比我们想象的更加多元。这边有2个重点。第一个重点是 whether A or B 逗号主词加动词，这是表达无论什么或什么，不管点点点或点点点。那么 whether or 在这边是引导让步副词子句，用来引出2种或2种以上的选择或可能性。在连接子句的时候，相同部分可以省略。例如 whether it's sunny or rainy, the event will take place as scheduled. 无论是晴天或雨天，活动将会如期举行，所以句子里面 rainy 的前方就省略了相同部分 its。第二个重点 make a living 表示谋生、维持生计，后面你可以接 as 加上职业来表达以什么什么谋生为生。例如 Richard makes a living as a taxi driver. Richard 他是以开计程车谋生。那我们接回到课文中。
Okay, guys, we have our what do you think question here to wrap things up before we say goodbye. Sydney, if you had to choose one of these unusual jobs, which would you choose and why?
That's a great question. So of all these jobs, I think I would probably choose to be a professional snake milker.
Ooh, I thought you were going to go with Netflix tagger. Okay.
I think so. I think
the
so.
Snakes, huh?
I like the snakes. I don't know. I think I want to kind of live life on the edge a little bit.
Very, very
You know, I think I would be really good at I'm always very cautious. I like to take safety precautions, and I really love the idea of helping people, you know, saving, you know, anyone who gets bitten by a snake, knowing that my research and my work help them to survive. I think I would really like to do that.
That's true. You would get a feeling of doing some good and making a difference in the world. I would say for me, bicycle fisher seems like the most interesting choice. I believe working on a boat would be a fun job. Living in Amsterdam would be I would sign up for a year. I'm not sure bicycle fishing in Amsterdam in January would be a lot of fun. It could be really cold and dirty and cold and wet and cold and dirty and cold. So I'm not sure I would want to be fishing anywhere when it's cold, but I think it could be interesting, and you could discover all sorts of weird treasures under the canals of Amsterdam. What about you? Professional cuddler? Netflix tagger? Maybe you could do both of those at the same time and be rich. The world is your oyster. You can dream up your own weird job even. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you back here very soon. Until then, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bicycle fisher. In Amsterdam, thousands of people ride bikes every day, and many of those bikes end up at the bottom of the city's numerous canals. Bicycle fishers use a special boat with a large claw to pull the rusty bikes out of the water. This keeps the Dutch capital's famous waterways cleaner and safer for boat traffic. Pet food tester. Do you like trying new foods? What if that food isn't intended for humans? Pet food testers are often food scientists who help ensure that pet food is both safe and appealing for animals. They usually don't swallow the food, but will still taste small amounts. Their work also involves checking ingredients and comparing flavors to improve recipes. Professional cuddler. This job helps people dealing with loneliness or stress. Professional cuddlers provide non-romantic physical comfort through hugging sessions. Several studies have shown that physical touch reduces stress and anxiety. Naturally, cuddlers must have strong communication skills and be willing to set clear boundaries to create safe experiences for clients and themselves. As you can see, the world is full of surprising career choices. Whether it's milking snakes or fishing for bikes, these roles prove that there are far more ways to make a living than we might imagine.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 numerous， 它是形容许多的、众多的。claw 名词，表示抓取装置、机械爪或是动物爪子。rusty 它是形容生锈的、技能生疏的。appealing 它是形容有吸引力的、吸引人的。然后 anxiety 这个名词，它表示焦虑、担忧或不安。文法的部分，第一个学到 what if 主词加动词，表示万一点点点怎么办。第二个学到 whether A or B 逗号主词加动词，表示无论点点点或点点点，不管什么什么或什么什么。第三个学到 make a living 表示谋生、维持生计。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Kiki, help! I can't get up. Help, Kiki! What happened? Oh, Kiki, we need to go to the hospital. What happened? Oh, what happened to your leg? My leg? Oh, no, I just have a paper cut. Then why are you limping? Oh. Let's get you a Band-Aid. Today we're going to talk about different things you might use to dress a wound. And the most common one you've probably heard of is the Band-Aid. But did you know Band-Aid is actually the name of the brand? These are actually called bandages. Okay, so these types of bandages have sticky adhesive sides to them. That means you can put it and you don't need any glue, you don't need any tape, you're all set to go. This is a bandage. This is also a bandage. So these are made of fabric. You might not only use this type of bandage to dress a wound. You might use it when you get injured, like a sprain, an ankle sprain, or even you sprain your wrist. You can use a bandage to help secure that sprain. Now, we know that wounds and cuts and scrapes, they come in all different shapes and sizes. So you might not always find a perfect Band-Aid or perfect bandage to cover that wound. That's when you use a gauze pad. So gauze pads are square fabric pads, usually made out of cotton, and you might have a small infection, so your cut might have some pus coming out or even some blood. These gauze pads will suck it all up. Yeah. Now you know the different types of dressings to help you cover or protect your wounds. Now, everyone, be careful out there. But that is all we have for today. Remember to follow us on Instagram and send us a DM or an email if there's something you want to ask us in English. Kiki, anything else? Do you think we can make a dress out of this? Kiwi later.